Maybe you're a crafter, maybe you dabble in the craft industry, or maybe being a crafter or the craft market is your full stream of income. Either way, if you're looking for a fun project to do, or if you're really looking for a new product to add to your inventory or your e-commerce, today we are decorating a happy birthday banner with mixed media. And when I say mixed media, I mean we're gonna have metallic glitter flake flock, and then we're also going to be using a sublimation pattern transfer. So we are doing so much for today's project, and I cannot wait to get started. So you know the drill, let's review the project. Hey guys, welcome back. Kelly Walters here, and if there is one thing I love about my job, it's the ability of being able to touch such a variety of materials and mixing and matching to create art that just gives you the wow factor or really brings a design to life. And today I get to do just that for a very special occasion, which is somebody's birthday. Now we have started with a white banner, okay? Simple, clean, easy, right? You can do so much for this. And I've decorated a couple of these, whether it was a family sign for a house, a countdown calendar for Christmas or the holidays. And I've also done some type of like senior design on this. And today we're decorating specifically for a birthday. Now this is, like I said, a little bit more on the craft side of the world, but that's okay because this is a really fun and unique way to make somebody feel special without truly having to do any type of personalization. Of course, you can add personalization anywhere onto this banner and always have that upsell or that upcharge in your item. But with what we are creating today, this allows you to create a variety, whether you are using different colors, different types of materials, or even different patterns without having to change your design. So we create one design and we can choose whatever colors we need to make that person feel like it's customized for them. Now, like I said, we started with a blank banner, okay, or a pennant, and we took one of our CAD cut patterns in a sublimation transfer. Now, what this means is we went on to Stahls.com, we went to CAD cut patterns, we selected out our favorite pattern. Some you can even customize the color so you can truly make you feel like it's a pattern you design. And some you get to choose different color options. In this particular case, we chose this color option. It is a little bit more subtle, but it's a beautiful watercolor type of finish. Now, once we have applied that onto our banner, we get this type of look. Now, as you can see, this isn't vibrant, okay? This is not crazy in color, but we do have some subtle background hues to this, and it really just creates that initial canvas that is already beautiful and bright, and that's one layer to the mixed media options or materials that we're decorating with today. Now, I have already sent my art to the cutter. We've already weeded. And sometimes for some of the projects where it takes a couple more steps than what it normally does, I like to have all of those things done, the cutting and the weeding first, because most of you know how to cut and weed. If you don't know how to cut and weed, believe me, we have tons of education on that you can go back and review. So today, this is all of my artwork stacked together. It looks beautiful. It's a jumbled mess, but that's okay, right? We're gonna organize it on the press, and I'm gonna do a little bit here just to show you the materials that we're working with, but once we start layering everything at the heat press, it's going to turn out beautifully, and you're gonna see a lot of dimension. You're gonna see different types of sheens, from matte to a little bit of a gloss to the metallic. It's going to be so much fun. So we have got soft flock. So this is where we're going to get some texture. What's amazing about soft flock is that you can actually layer on top of that. So a lot of times people think because it's got some texture and it's got some thickness to it, you can't layer on it. And at some of the shows recently, more and more people have been shocked that you can actually layer on soft flock. So keep that in mind. The next material that we will be decorating with is going to be our fashion film electric. Now this is going to give us a little bit of that metallic finish, but I kind of have described it in the past kind of as a pearlized look. You don't have that chrome metallic, but you do have some metallic flakes in it that kind of help with that pearl type of characteristic of this material. This is also layerable, but we are not layering on top of this material. Now, next off of that is going to be our glitter flake. Now, remember, you cannot layer on top of glitter flake. However, you could apply glitter flake on top of other materials that could be layered. What that means is we could easily take this glitter flake and put it on top of soft flock. So as you're building out designs and trying to think of materials that you want to use, as you're layering your art, or maybe you're not layering your art, keep those things in mind. If you wanted a particular layer to be glitter and you couldn't use it because it's actually the base, then you would just want to be cautious of that as you're designing your own happy birthday logo. And last but not least is going to be our CAD cut metallic. Now, some of these, like this and the fashion film electric, we will need to trim the art before we apply it. Now, the reason why I did that is because a lot of times when we are creating a design with 4 different colors and we have the art spaced amongst the design, what I mean by that is right here might be some soft flock and right here might be some soft flock. That means that everything in the middle of this design, if we were cutting it, is going to be open space. What that means is when we weed that material away from the transfer, that is just, it becomes trash unless you want to save your scraps to create a really cool design, which you can. It's just extra material and unfortunately waste. So as we got down to really deciding which layer needed to go first in order to help outline this entire design, there were 2 that I found that I could actually just trim and place on their own. One being this particular design, so I will apply these cake layers and the sum cake in 2 different sections versus 1 initial transfer. And then same thing for the metallic. So we've got our flames of the candle with some dashes that add just a little bit of extra into the design. If we would have left this as it was, our flames would have been up here, and that's just so much waste. So in working out the cost of this item and how much material you would need, we did shrink some, okay, to have some savings on the material side. Now, if you're like, nope, I'm not going to worry about it, you do what you need to do. Just consider that that is waste, and that is material that should also be included in your overall evaluation of what it costs to do this project. Okay, that was a lot of words. And as you do more and more mixed media or multicolor designs, you'll start to notice like, okay, well, this design specifically took a lot of extra space and I didn't really get a lot of heat applied transfer in that. Okay, so we are using our Hotronix autoclam today. So let's head over there. Everything is going to get applied at 300 degrees today. Our fashion film electric actually applies at 320 degrees. Because we are not washing this banner, I am going to keep that fashion film electric lower. If you are putting this on a garment where it needs to go through the washability factors, you need to have the durable side of this, please follow the instructions in terms of heat application, which would mean all of the transfers would get raised to 320 degrees, and that's what it would be applied at. Now also, because this is a sublimation transfer, and once heat is put back on top of this, there is the potential to have a little bit of ink release. So we need to make sure we use a cover sheet and protect not only our project, but of course our heating element. So let's go ahead to the press. All right, at our Hotronix autoclam, this is a 16 by 20 unit. Now what I've done is actually switched out the 16 by 20 for the 11 by 15 platen. And we're able to do that because of a little lever right here that we can just pop out. And then our platen just goes in and out, easy to exchange or switch in and out, right? Now we have this wood piece in our pennant. We could completely take this apart, pull that piece out, put it under the press and apply that way. Or if you're like me, I don't want to do the extra steps to just get something done. And because we were able to switch out our platen, we can actually just have that dowel rod drop behind and below our platen, keeping it completely away from the heating element, giving us a nice clean workspace to apply our HTV. Now, all I need to do is make sure that we've got our transfers lined up correctly, and we'll heat apply them and review the project once it's finished. All right, we've got our banner right here. First up is going to be our some cake with a couple of layers. Now, I do want to find the center of this, so I'm just going to line up my design and then crease the top. And I know I need to go as low as possible. When I had measured this, I knew exactly what width and height I had to work with. So I'm going to go down as far as I can on these, about right here to where it's not going to touch that bottom seam. All right. Like I said, we need that cover sheet. We're going to protect ourselves with that pattern. Now, the next thing that we want to do is really just tack our soft foam on. So we're only going to do about 5 seconds for our soft foam. Now, my press was actually set at 15, so I'll need to adjust that going forward just to make sure we can tack each design on. Now, what I would recommend is actually checking your cover sheet before you continue to move forward. And I'm actually not seeing any lift in terms of pattern on here, so we can go ahead and reuse this. Now, flock is a warm peel. I had a little bit of lifting there, but again, we're going to go hit this again with the press. If you need to go back in and tack it for a couple more seconds, you can easily do that just to ensure that everything is on nice and clean before you do go to weed. So as you can see, I've got part of my E that is lifting up, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. All right, up next is our fluorescent pink CAD cut glitter flake. Now this is neon. It is a bright, beautiful neon pink, and it does have some sparkle in that, which is going to just be perfect in terms of texture and giving us a little something different other than the soft flock. With the soft flock, it's going to look like crushed velvet or kind of a suede look. And then of course here, we're going to get some high glitter. Now, what we need to make sure we're doing is lining up our icing on that top layer, which you can see is right here. Then we've got pink candles, and then our metallic will go right here for the flame. The Let's Eat will stack right above some cake, and that's really all you have to do for lining up those two designs. Again, we're going to tack down for 5 seconds. It's set to 6, so we're going to keep it at 6. And this is a hot peel, so we're going to go ahead and remove our carrier on that. Now, if you notice, our E is now sealed, and we still have 2 more transfers to apply to this, so we're going to keep putting more and more time on both of these transfers. All right, still no pattern signs or sublimation marks on our cover sheet, so I'm going to set that aside. Now, up next, we have this beautiful CAD cut fashion film electric. We need to separate this transfer, so we are going to cut apart our some cake because that's going to go on top of our soft flock, and then our 2 layers are going to stack up nicely underneath the soft flock and our glitter flake. So we don't need to cut these apart because they are spaced correctly, and we'll just stick this one where it needs to go to give us that outline of flock. And then we will also add this one correctly as well to make sure it's bunched up. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now what's happening is we have a lot of heat from this upper heating element, and it is causing our carrier to go ahead and curl up. This is a hot peel, which is one of the reasons what's causing that is our carrier is ready to release from the material and the heat transfer. So because I want to make sure there is nothing that shifts on this, we are going to use some thermo tape, and I just want to make sure that it is centered correctly and we don't have a wonky transfer, once we step away from lining up our designs. And now once we remove the thermo adhesive, or our thermo tape, excuse me, we won't have any type of mark on our banner or our transfers. Okay, so this is ready to go ahead and heat apply as well. All right, cover sheet. Now this is Fashion Film Electric Teal. And like I said, it does normally apply at 320 degrees. So a little bit higher temp than what we are currently using, but it's a hot peel. So because we have layered, as you're peeling, just make sure you peel with caution just to make sure nothing is lifting, you're not distorting any of the previous transfers, and everything is nice and clean. All right, so we are so close to being done with our all 4 of our colors. Next, we need to go in and add the flames and the little sparks that come outside of Let's Eat. Now, if you remembered, this is how we had our transfer, so I did go ahead and trim those out. Let's Eat just goes wherever you would like it, or excuse me, the little dashes go outside of Let's Eat, but you can kind of control the height that you would like. And then our little candle flames go right on top. And again, you get to control how close you want the flames to be to the candles and vice versa. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is as you are doing your little dashes, make sure you just take a look and make sure you don't have anything, spaced too crazy or one's higher than the other. While they are very small in terms of material being used, it can also give the biggest uh-oh factor if you have these at an angle versus being level. All right, pretty happy with this. Now this is gonna cook for the full time of 8 to 10 seconds. And because I keep saying I need to adjust my time, let's go ahead and set it for 8 seconds. Metallic is a cold peel. So once the press lifts up, we want to go ahead and remove our project from our heating element, set it aside, and let it cool. All right, once this is cooled down, we'll go ahead and reveal the final design. All right, so peeling our metallic, very easy and nice and clean once it has cooled down. Overall, the design turned out exactly what I was needing it to look like, especially with the effect of the variety of mixed media, the different colors, obviously the tones of the transfers that we were getting as well. Now, I just absolutely adore the way this turned out. We are getting a variety of different textures from the glitter flake and the flock, different sheens from a matte finish on flock to a pearl, somewhat of a metallic finish on the electric, and of course the pops of bling with the glitter flake and the metallic. Now we've also added a whole other level by using patterns as our background to this image. And remember, you can keep the same design and change out your materials, getting you in front of a larger audience. Whether you are male, female with a variety of colors, or male using a variety of different type of animal patterns, for that younger audience, you can use one design and grasp more orders. Now, while this was a fun and craft style project, remember, simply by mixing your media, you are able to bring your design to life, create more of a unique look, and of course, create that wow factor. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.